Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new brawler Juju. So she's a brand new thrower. She's got mechanics that have never been seen before, and you can see she literally floats over water. So her main attack, it depends on where you're actually standing on the map. So whether you're on the ground, it's going to be dealing an extra 400 damage, so it's 2,000 instead of 1,600. And then with the grass, as you can see, this range is absolutely absurd. Look at this range for a thrower. Crazy with 1,600 damage. And then when you're on water, it will change to a slowing effect every single time. You can't see it on the robot, but that's what it is. So with Juju's super, throws out a little robot called Gregory. I don't know how it's called Gregory by the way that it looks, but yeah, Gregory, he shoots little sharp needles, has 7,200 HP, and it takes 5 pieces of ammunition to build him up, so pretty quickly. So yeah, she's going to be really strong. 6,000 HP, and her reload speed is pretty decent as well. I don't think it's going to be another Larry and Laurie situation, but she definitely looks really strong. So start off with the first gadget. It's called Voodoo Chile. So what happens is all 3 elements are combined into one with the next main attack, which is absolutely crazy. So you've got the range from the grass element, you've got the slow effect, and you've got the additional 2k damage. This gadget is going to be so incredibly good because at any given time, you know, there's not a lot of maps that have water on. You can just get that slowing effect with that main attack, additional damage as well. If any thrower is outranging you, well, you could just pop this gadget and get the slow, you know, close the gap and spam that main attack. I just think this gadget is so good. The second gadget is called Elementalist, so it just depends on what terrain you're on. So whether you're just on the ground, you will get a damage reduction shield, which is pretty decent and lasts a good amount of time. The next, when you're on top of the grass, you will go invisible for a brief amount of time. I think it's about 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, I would say. Pretty decent amount. I think that can be used, really good combination. A thrower that has invisibility, that's just insane when you think about it. And then the final one, when you're on water, you will have a temporary speed boost. I just think there's so much versatility to Juju. I'm really scared about this. So moving on to the first star power, it's called Guarded Gregory. So whenever you deploy your super, it will spawn with a little shield. We kind of saw this in Brawl Talk anyway. And the shield doesn't even deplete too fast. I think this could be an underrated one because I don't know whether Gregory is going to get the most damage because he's super slow, but what he can do is tank a lot. That is nearly 10k HP with a spawner ball. Just think of the amount of damage you could tank. It's just going to be a mini tank with you. And the second star power with Juju is called Numbing Needles. So with your super, again, another star power that only affects the super, you will slow the opponents for 1 second with every needle. I think this one could be crazy strong. We'll have to test it out in real games though to see whether Gregory can actually hit people with it, but 1 second slow. There's just so much to like about the star powers and gadgets. So now moving on to Juju's best build, and this honestly is going to be a really tough one. Both gadgets are very good. I think it's more easy to get value out of Voodoo Chile, but I don't know, both of them are really strong. First time in a while. Star powers, I actually secretly think Guarded Gregory could be pretty good. I think for the most part, people will opt for this because they're built in slow. Like imagine a really water-based map with this slow as well. You're just slowing people galore, and then typically with a throw, you probably want to go something like this. Maybe not damage and just opt for the +1 because you're going to get so much value out of the gadget. So now let's jump into her best matchups and her best counters as well. So typically, I normally go through the game modes, whatever else, but I just plain and simple think Juju is just going to be crazy broken everywhere. So yeah, pretty much A or S tier everywhere. She may lack DPS sometimes and maybe like heist or something, but I still think versatility, she's going to be absolutely crazy. So let's talk about the brawlers that she counters best. So as a thrower, she's going to be typically good against squishier brawlers. So I'm talking like Spike. She's going to be pretty good against snipers as well, because you think of snipers, they're not able to close the gap onto throwers, so they can be pretty toxic. Just remember what Larry and Laurie were like in their broken state. Of course, they're a bit better against tanks, but you got to remember, like, throwers can be really broken and just can beat everybody because, of course, they can literally throw over a wall. So lanes without wall breaks is, again, another counter. So, for example, I don't know, if say you're facing off against like a Sandy or just something like that, you can use so many different things with Juju to your advantage, the extra damage, the extra range, and the grass. It's going to be really hard for non-wall breakers or just really squishy brawlers to approach her. It's going to be pretty difficult. I just think that she's going to end up countering a lot upon her release. But think of typical brawlers that you counter with throwers. It's going to be the same apply with Juju. So now let's move on to the brawlers that counter her then. So I do think assassins will have a really good matchup against her. You know, typically Larry and Laurie, he could still counter assassins, and he still can now because of his star powers. I don't think the star powers actually help too much with countering her counters, if that makes sense. The slow might be able to help you out a little bit, but I just think she doesn't have the DPS to actually take down assassins out in her face. So definitely aggro brawlers like Mortis and Kenji will have a good matchup against her for sure. I think healer compositions will also be pretty good, you know, like Byron with a tank or Poco with tanks. I think she won't have the DPS to keep up even with her super. It is not very instant, so anything that is right up into your face, you know, brawlers like Sam, for example, with the healing can be a really good counter to Juju. Also, you got high HP brawlers, so again, tanks are going to be really good against her, mainly because her main attack doesn't have the most damage output, and you've got to, you know, brawlers like Frank, yeah, he won't be able to get close to her sometimes if she's just in grass, but just the pure HP, he can just run into her, and she doesn't have the DPS. So again, not comparable to Larry and Laurie upon release, in my opinion, because they can burst down pretty much everything. And then, yeah, Lily as well, going to be really good into Juju, in my opinion, because she's got no way to really escape Lily or do any quick damage or any type of knockback. So just bear that in mind. So that's going to be it with today's video. Sorry, it's a little bit rushed because I've had to do a prediction video for World Finals, which is probably going to go out an hour after this video. But all in all, the reason why I didn't want to complicate things too much, because I just think Juju is going to be so incredibly strong. Absolutely S tier. I think she's going to be the best brawler in the game, unless the new brawler Shade is even better. But yeah, I think she's going to be really, really good. Main reason being is versatility. There's just going to be so much to her. I also think the grass extra range is just bizarre. Absolutely crazy, the range. She's going to outrange everything. How are you going to approach her on the grassy map? I have absolutely no idea. I think easily S tier. If anybody says below A tier, I'm going to go crazy. There's just no way. She looks so incredibly strong. So that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.